Welcome to the Power of PD YouTube channel. I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm your host, Erica Harrell. Have you ever been in a professional development and you're just sitting there wondering, why are we doing this? What is this activity for? Or what are they talking about? One, you're not alone, because this is a common mistake that some PD professionals are making, and I just want to chat about how can we avoid this mistake. Oftentimes, I see PD professionals where they will have a bunch of really strong activities, things that are not going to hurt anyone if they're doing that. It's not going to make this person be a bad teacher, a bad leader, or anything like that, but it just doesn't connect to the activity that came before it, or the activities or the information that will come after it, and the outcomes of the PD. And so it's really important that as we are leading professional development, we make sure that our learners understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what's the end goal of this entire experience. Everyone who's learning, adults, children, anyone who's learning has to know the why. And oftentimes, we do a really great job of starting with the why in the beginning. We tell them why it's important. We come up with creative, unique ways to show them the importance. And then we forget to continue to bring up that importance throughout the professional development. We need to hear things multiple times in order to learn it and remember it. So it's okay to bring up the why throughout the PD. It's also okay to remind folks of the why of this activity, or to tell them. So if you are starting out your professional development and you tell them the why, and then you get into some knowledge, you talk to them about some information, and now you're about to launch into a group practice experience. You can and should, before you do that, explain to them, why are we doing this practice? So you can tell them you're excited to launch into this practice because it will help them get some of the kinks out before they stand up in front of their teachers or their students, whoever it is that you're delivering the PD to at that time. So explain to them before they jump into it, here's why we're doing this. Here's how this is going to benefit you. Here's how this will benefit your students. Here's how this will benefit whoever it is that they support. And so make sure you come back to the why over and over will help to connect all the pieces of the PD. The other thing is that teachers, leaders, educators in general, all adults really, want to learn stuff to solve their problems. And so you, as the leader of this experience, have to make sure every single thing that they're doing during this experience gets them closer to the solution to the problem that you are working on in that professional development experience. Every word that comes out of your mouth, every activity that they do, every conversation and discussion that you lead should be getting them closer to a solution, a skill, a set of knowledge that will help them to be stronger in the area that is the PD that you're delivering. So you want to be thinking to yourself, is this helping to get them closer to that? Is this helping build their capacity in order to be a more qualified, a stronger teacher, whatever it is that you're working on? And so make sure that everything is centered around solving a problem. And think about your PD as a storyline. So just like a book that you're reading, or a TV show that you're watching, or a movie that you're watching, everything has it's one through line. It's all connected. While yes, they might throw in something that you're like, wait, how is this? What is this? I don't understand this, until you keep reading and then you see how it's connected. That might happen during your PD too. But if you're doing that, I want you to be strategic about that. You've got to make sure that everything is following this storyline. So when you're looking at your PD to get ready to facilitate it to your learners or your professional development program, if it's over the course of a number of PDs, you want to be taking a step back and saying, okay, my learner's doing this first. Then they do this next. Do those two things connect? Does the second thing build on the first thing? Then our third step in our agenda. Does that all flow from 1 to 2 to 3? If it feels disconnected to you, it's probably going to be disconnected to your learners. So you want to make sure, do these things flow from step to step to step, from getting stronger to stronger to stronger? Can I build connections from one to the next, all the way to the finish line of this professional development? If you have a culminating activity, am I continuing to give them information, to give them small bits of practice, all the way to this larger activity where they'll get to demonstrate their learning from this professional development? So you want to make sure you have a through line, a story that connects the beginning, the middle, the end of your PD, that it's not feeling choppy and feeling disconnected. Your learners need to be able to hold on to something across the entire experience in order to fully execute at the end, or when they go back into their classroom or into their work. So double check after you've built your agenda, does this flow? Does this make sense in the way that I'm delivering it, so that learners can fully hold on to something all the way through my PD so they can execute at the end? All right, so this episode was just me kind of ranting a little bit about this mistake that I see folks having sometimes, mistakes that I've made most definitely, around not having a connection, not building that through line from the beginning to the middle to the end of the PD, so that people can have something to hold on to and organize their thoughts as they're learning this new information. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Is this a mistake that you've made? Is it a mistake that you've seen other facilitators make as you've sat in professional development? If you have questions about it, drop it in the comments. And then don't forget to share this with someone. If you're going to thinking about sharing it with someone who's made this mistake, maybe it's time to just be open and honest and tell them that they've made this mistake. Here's a resource. But no, share it with people who need it. And don't forget to subscribe. Follow me over on Instagram if you do not already. I'm at Erica Harrell Consulting. And until next week's episode, don't forget to embrace the power of PD.